When I founded CEIR in the summer of 2016, the field of election administration was very different.
The election is being rigged.
You're more likely to get bitten by a shark who's won the Powerball lottery than find someone who committed voter fraud. And to recast the thousands of election officials as villains in this story, that's just not what happened. The 2020 election, in reality, was the most secure, transparent, verified, and scrutinized election in American history.
The Election Official Legal Defense Network can help election officials under pressure.
The president has signed an unprecedented executive order regarding elections.
And our work at CEIR will continue to evolve and meet this moment. Our team has grown. We're releasing more research to the field than ever. We're working with the media and the public to educate them about the voting process. And we are working to protect those men and women, our neighbors, our family members, who serve as election officials. There is one thing that unites us all: the belief that democracy must persist and thrive, and that it must reflect the will of the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Executive Director and Founder of the Center for Election Innovation and Research, David Becker.
Thank you all. That's so nice. It's so wonderful to see all of you. Thanks to all of you who joined us today. I know many of you traveled. Some of you even put on a tie. I'm incredibly grateful, and it's great to be with colleagues who share a vision about American democracy and our elections. We're gathering here to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding and the 10th anniversary of the founding of the Center for Election Innovation and Research. I can hardly believe it's been 10 years. There's some of you in this room who've been with us from the very beginning, and I'm just so grateful for that. Also in this room, there's so many who've worked tirelessly to protect and preserve American democracy, partners and advocates who have worked tirelessly to defend the rights of American voters, members of the media who are working harder than ever to understand the intricacies of our election system and accurately inform the American public about the security of our process. And perhaps most importantly, the public servants, Republicans and Democrats from the state and local level from all over the country who work every day to give every eligible American a voice in who governs them. It is for you that we do this work, and supporting you is the reason we founded CEIR 10 years ago. That work is more important than ever, and yet we also have to acknowledge that it's more challenging than ever. 10 years ago, election officials in this country worked hard, but as many of you know, in relative obscurity. Few knew who they were, what they did, and you all probably had a hard time explaining what you did at parties. Back when I was at Pew, we did a poll around some states and asked them who their chief election official was. I remember California's very, very clearly. Over half had no clue. It was multiple choice, by the way. The leading vote getter was the California State Board of Elections, which was interesting because there is no California State Board of Elections. The correct answer, the California Secretary of State got 7% of the vote. That was back in about 2013 or 2014. But that's not the case anymore. In a way, that obscurity that existed 10 years ago was okay. Americans understood that elections had winners and losers, and while it was natural to be disappointed if your candidate lost, people of principle running for office understood their greater responsibility, conceding defeat when appropriate and signaling to their supporters that the last election was over and it was time to work towards the next election. Many of us in this room remember the words of Al Gore in 2000 or John McCain in 2008. nobly speaking in defeat in ways we will recall long after victory speeches are forgotten. But over the last few years, the public servants who run elections have come under siege. Losing candidates and an entire economy of grift that surrounds them have spread lies and conspiracy theories and targeted election officials with false claims of theft. These claims have been disproven every single time, and yet they persist, leading to abuse, harassment, and threats against those secretaries of state, county election officials, staff, and even volunteer poll workers. And if that wasn't challenging enough, the same debunked and ridiculous conspiracy theories that drove so much division in this country seem to be driving federal and, in some cases, state election policy. Where both parties previously embraced the promise of the founders that elections were to be run locally by the states who knew their voters best, consistent with the Elections Clause of the Constitution, we now have a federal government seemingly intent on nationalizing our elections. We're seeing blatantly unconstitutional executive orders seeking to dictate election policy to the states. The Department of Justice, where I used to work, is now suing over half the states to seize sensitive voter data and compile it in a national database, while also engaging in frivolous investigations of past elections long since confirmed and verified. The Department of Homeland Security, formerly a trusted partner with election officials during the first Trump and Biden administrations, now has unilaterally disarmed in the cybersecurity wars and seems poised to be an adversary to election officials rather than a partner. And yet, in this difficult environment, we're seeing Americans rising to the challenge. Efforts to nationalize elections are being blocked by the courts and judges appointed by both parties. States are making voting as convenient as ever and securing those elections against possible threats through cooperation with each other and with secure paper ballots and audits. Courts are questioning DOJ's expansive efforts and holding the lawyers in a diminished DOJ accountable to meet their burden of proof. And we can see the results of this incredibly hard work. We're well into the primary season, and we're seeing elections executed smoothly, with few problems and record turnout in most places. Even when grifters and sore losers complain about the process, election officials continue to work hard to do their jobs well, often through the night, and the quality of their work is sustained long after the complaints die away. I'm confident that after all the bluster, the illegal power grabs, the conspiracy theories, that's what will endure. The hard work and dedication of the public servants who manage elections, and the enthusiasm of the American voters they serve. While some within this country seek to divide us, often echoing false claims pushed by our foreign adversaries who see our embrace of democracy as a threat, we remember that every election is a celebration of that democracy. Every voter casting a ballot, regardless of whether we agree or disagree with their vote, is a link in a 250-year-long tradition of self-rule. And we at CEIR are proud to support you in all that work. Over the last 10 years, our team has grown from just 1 or 2 people to over 20 staff today. We are releasing more research than ever before and working with the media and the public to educate them about the voting processes. Actually, if you don't mind, can the CEIR team just stand up for a moment? Ten years ago, that would have been hard for me to believe. Just remarkable. And they do all of the hard work that sometimes you don't see, but it's underlying everything we do. We reject efforts to bully election officials and isolate them from their support networks with bipartisan convenings like this one and others. Through our Election Official Legal Defense Network and our new legal program, we help election workers who need advice and support find pro bono legal counsel, while ensuring that the knowledge and experience of election officials is heard and understood in the courts. And today, we will hear from many of those election officials, celebrate their work, and reconfirm our commitment to supporting them. In this room, we have election officials from Idaho to Connecticut, from Minnesota to Georgia. We have researchers and advocates and journalists. We have Republicans and Democrats. And while there may be disagreements about policy in this room, there's one thing that unites all of us: the unwavering conviction that democracy must persist and thrive, and it must reflect the will of the people, whatever that is.